a Male Rights Activist Podcast, episode 117. We focus on relationships, sports, and pop culture from a man's point of view. First of all, we want to thank our listeners, our new ones, our OGs. Thank you for hanging with the fellas.
What up?
On today's show, Kamal's wife is joining us.
The 1 hour a week I get to spend away from my wife, I'm spending it with my wife. Yay.
Chelsea Handler said she had to remind 50 Cent that he was black.
Yeah, man, he probably ain't got pulled over in a while.
Hilarious. And the reason why Kamal's wife is here is because we're going to talk about the new rules of consent, all that and more right now. This is MRA Podcast with Kyle and Kamal, where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. I am Kyle.
I am Kamal.
And we're saving relationships one listener at a time. Starting off with the front page, Kamal.
What's
I did stand up again at the Comedy Store.
Like really live stand up?
Man, so they have a setup where, because you know, if you're at the Comedy Store, for people around the world who've never been, and hopefully the dude I met in the plane, I was talking to him about the Comedy Store. He was saying how he wants to make a visit. If you heard that, holla at your boy at Kyle Irby on all social. But anyway, KYLEERBY. But so what they have is a patio area, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say before. All right, so if you walk into the Comedy Store, the first thing you see is a patio area where you drink. You can, get drinks. And then you can see beyond the patio area, you can see a window where you can see into the showroom. And you can see the audience. And you can kind of see the comedian on stage if you crane your neck a little bit. And then if you go around to the back, there's a parking lot where only comedians get to park. Only comedians. You don't get to park there if you're a customer. Doesn't matter who you are. Only paid regulars get to park in the back.
Oh, for real? I thought it was like big time people.
Only paid regulars.
Okay.
If you're a paid regular, you can park there. Now, a lot of big time people are paid regulars, but the only requisite is paid regular. So in that back parking lot, they were doing shows, but they got shut down by the city. We're like outdoor shows with the stage, with audience, and they were, COVID friendly, but they got shut down. So now they're just doing shows in the front patio, and the comedian is in the window. And so you can hear the comedian. They can kind of hear you because there's a mic out there. It's not that strong. You can hear them when you get a big laugh. I didn't get one of those, so I couldn't hear them. But you can hear, they can hear you, and you can kind of hear them. And it's like in Amsterdam when the hookers are in the window and you're picking which one you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, and literally, like, I'm not gonna call it an open mic, but if you show up and you know the guy or talk to the guy, there's a good chance you're getting on. Now, how long it's going to take, it's just like on a Monday. It's rolling the dice, but it's not that packed. Now, it's a lot of comics because it's the Comedy Store, but it ain't like it used to be on a Monday night where it's like you'll be there all night long and hope to get on. As of now, in October, this October 20th, last Wednesday in October, it is doable to get on. Now, they're open Mondays, not Tuesdays, not Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday, and Monday.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
so go ahead.
I was going to say, it's going to get, once the world opens up, that place is going to be hard as hell to get into, man. Have you been watching that Showtime series?
I know. I have not been watching because I don't have Showtime.
Oh, okay. One
reason. And the second reason is I was there for the entire filming of it, and I'm not on it, so my feelings are a little bit hurt, low-key.
I got you.
But if I had been working there this time last year, I would have been on it.
Like, just like walking around or actually?
Well, here's the thing. The people that they had on stage, they only let employees on the stage and people that they were just about to pass. And I sat there and watched them do the thing for about 6-7 months. And I would always wonder, how come they never pulled me aside? But they were only focusing on certain people.
Yeah, somebody got passed on there. And
Frank Castillo.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I saw when Frank got passed. And you know what I saw when I thought about when he got passed? Because I know Frank, I've seen him since he started. I said, you know what, man? He said this is like the one thing, the biggest day of his life, bigger than the day he got married. And I was like, you know what, man? I never wanted it that bad. And that's why I don't have it.
Oh, yeah, I was watching it, and I was talking to my girl. We were watching it, and they were talking about just the process of, like, the open mic, and you'd be there, 6 or 7 hours. And I was like, yeah.
Well, honestly, though, if you work there, if you can find a way to work there, which I didn't know, and we talked about it on the podcast, and you actually one of the people that told me I should. I'm pretty sure you said I should, right, that day outside? Oh, actually, you told me I shouldn't. You told me I should go somewhere else.
Fuck that place.
Yeah, when I told you I was going to work there, you were like, why?
Do
you
not
should go to
work at that place.
Yeah,
I just thought that basically, man, you've been, you weren't somebody fresh off the bus from like Nebraska.
Yeah.
You had been out here for damn near 20 years, probably 18 putting in work. Everybody knows you, and just on principle. And again, that's terrible advice, but I can acknowledge that. But it was just on some old pride and principle. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, and that's what kept me out the Comedy Store for so long. Pride and principle. So they're open again, and it's funny, man. I have my set. I tried to freestyle, but it's really hard to freestyle when you can't hear the people that well. It's really hard to connect, and I love to connect before I go into my stuff. And so it was a humbling experience. But I'm like, okay, it's time to start writing again, stand-up jokes. So, I wrote my first idea today, and it's like I'm telling you this for the last time, Jerry Seinfeld's special, when he's like starting all over after Seinfeld. It feels like doing a new act. But meanwhile, before the Comedy Store show, I did an outdoor benefit set for some school district in Calabasas, and that was great. And then, of course, the Minnesota show. So I'm in road shape, but I'm not in hard comedy room shape yet, where I want to do new material. You know what I'm saying? So I got work to do, man. But you know who else has work to do? Joe Biden. We are elections this Tuesday. It's the Tuesday's coming up. Today's the 28th. The next Tuesday will be election day. Now, have you voted yet, Kamal?
Nah, I plan on going in this week. I'm not going to vote on election day.
Okay.
I'm not standing in that line. So I said I'm going to drive past it, so I got to make sure I go do that this week.
Yeah.
So
my only thing that's stopping me is like the propositions and stuff. I'm like kind of torn on some of them, so I really got to read and study. But I plan on mailing my vote. Today is my deadline, my self-imposed deadline. So I'm going to hold myself to that. Did you see the final Trump debate come out? Trump and Biden debate?
Yep.
I found it low-key interesting. It's so funny to me, man. First of all, old girl Kristen Welker did such a good job. Shouts out to her. She held it down. She did her thing, man. It just felt like Trump was so desperate that he just started attacking and making stuff up. You know what I mean? Like, tell us about the bully you shot in the boys' bathroom. What bully are you talking about, Trump? I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, it felt like he was pulling shit out of his ass, man. What was your take on the debate?
Well, that's the same thing he did with Hillary Clinton. I mean, if you paid attention, that's the exact same thing he pulled with Hillary Clinton. It's the same thing he did in the Republican primary with Ted Cruz, talking about his father was associated with the Kennedy assassination. I mean, that's just what the man does. Like, he pulls like fringe conspiracy theories and he makes them public. And so now, instead of you just saying, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He and his supporters keep piling on until they make it news.
Like Obama's birth certificate.
Right. Until you're forced to have to deal with it, because now it's like, do you have something to hide? Why aren't you addressing these allegations?
Why haven't you shown your birth certificate? I never thought about how he was pulling stuff out of his ass. It's just like the Obama birth certificate technique.
Yeah, it's like I said, fringe right-wing conspiracy theories that definitely, I understand when he was businessman Donald Trump. Like, you don't know no better. But this man's the president of the United States. Yes. He knows everything.
He says he's the least racist person in the room. That was laughable, man. That was laughable to me, Kamal. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when he says that he's done more for African Americans than anybody. And he literally had to think about it. He was like, well, Lincoln, except for Lincoln. I'm like, dude, to the point where Joe Biden called him Abraham Lincoln, man. What'd you think of that?
Well, I mean, again, he just says shit. And it's not really a debate. And honestly, I'm giving up on trying to convince people. I had an argument with a guy in the barbershop the other day, man. And he was talking that Trump shit. And I'm at the point now, Kyle, you understand this as a teacher. You ever just dealt with that kid who's just so fucking bad, and after like 3 or 4 months of trying to reach out, it's like, you know what?
I'm good. I'm good, man.
I've done my part.
Yep.
And so that's how I feel about trying to convince people that this man is obviously full of shit. He will say anything. He will
Absolutely.
do anything to get reelected.
Yes.
But it's all talk. And I don't see how you can listen to him and Joe Biden during that debate when Joe has specifics.
Yes.
You know, everything that he shot at him as far as like his policies, he was able to explain it. And you got this other guy just saying, we've done a great job. We continue to do a great job, but we want to make it great again. The pandemic, which wasn't our fault, was trying to never should have happened. I'm not happy, but it's going to be great again. It's like, what are you actually saying? The healthcare thing, which I don't understand why poor people who support this man, he's going to take away your health care. And he's like, no,
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to put a health care plan that's almost like Obama's and just put his goddamn name on it.
No.
He doesn't want to take the health care away. He wants it to be called Trump care.
Well, no.
That's his big deal.
Well, let me explain why he'll do it. Let me explain why somebody like him will do it.
Why?
Because they'll win in the Supreme Court, and he's the president of the United States, so he doesn't come up with laws. He just signs them into he signs them in.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so all he's going to do is say the Democrats haven't passed anything. I'll sign it. He was saying he'll get health care on day one, but now after he gets what he wants,
first he wants to get rid of Obamacare, and if they don't pass Trump care, then people are just fucked.
Well, he doesn't have a plan. See, here's the problem with the Republicans. Obamacare initially, for the most part, was a Republican plan for health care. And so if they shit on that, that was the best they were going to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, if we get rid of that, we have no other plan that's different because this was our plan initially. But because, you know what I'm saying, President Black Man came up with it, we had to diss it. But it was a Republican plan. It was Mitt Romney used it for Romney Care when he was the president. I mean, I'm sorry, the governor of Massachusetts. I mean, it would the forcing people to buy into it. That was all Republican shit. If the Democrats had their you know what I'm saying, their druthers, government would have paid for all of that shit. Just took care of everything, but they were like, that wasn't going to pass. So he passed the most conservative health care plan that he could, and now they don't like it. They have nothing else.
Makes so much sense. When we come back, we got some feedback, and after that, we have a post-nut mode story from a guy who got the opportunity of a lifetime. Did he mess it up? We'll tell you soon. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? I sure hope you're enjoying the show. If you like it, I invite you to go to our website, themrapodcast.com, and catch up on over 100 episodes that we have in store for you.
You ain't working, you might as well check us out.
And if you want some more, go over to The World According to Cheryl and check me out on Cheryl Underwood's podcast. We post content there every single day. We have her normal radio show labeled SUR, and then the Cheryl Underwood podcast, where we get in her personal business every Friday. Then on the weekends, we have the specialty shows that range from Late Night Cupcake into Auntie Cheryl's House Party to our gospel show, Spiritual Nourishment.
You gotta check out The World According to Cheryl, even though I ain't on it.
We got some feedback, Hobie.
Do we now?
Yes, it said, because of y'all, I watched that Red Table bullshit. Remember when Hercules from Philly said something about, was it Hercules? I'm trying to remember. One of our writers said something about when we say like a movie, they'll watch it. You remember that?
Yeah. I think it might have been Hercules.
Yeah, it might have been, but it was somebody. But anyway, so when we say a movie, they watch it. They're like the ghetto Cisco and Ebert. So I guess we're the ghetto Cisco and Ebert. So I guess we talked about that Red Table, and we made this brother Big Rome in Macon, Georgia, watch it and inspired him to watch it. I don't like to say made. But he was upset. He said, because y'all watch that Red Table bullshit, and these hoes want us to stop and ask after we get the yes, if it's still a yes. Fuck that. Now they want to blame us for not guessing they changed their mind. Bitch, please. Miss me with that. Big Rome in GA. Now, we could have edited that, and I'm sorry if you're offended by that, but I wanted to let it play in its entirety just so you can hear the male point of view, because that's what this is, the MRA Podcast, where we give men a voice. Now, we're going to talk about this later in the show. We're going to talk about how times have changed and there are new rules of consent. We're going to get Vertina Love back on the mic. She hasn't been here in a while, and she's going to tried to give us some of the woman's perspective because men, we have work to do. Kamal, how do you feel about this before we get into it later?
I think his perspective was a little harsh, but probably would have had a similar perspective if it hadn't been for me having the conversation with some ladies.
That Way to Excel day you had?
Right. And so just truly understanding or listening.
Listening
is, and then understanding, like, man, where a lot of them come from. Now, doesn't mean like I'm all 100% in on that other side, because I do think it's a personal responsibility involved for the ladies. It can't just be 100% all.
I'm gonna stop you right there. If they want more, they got to stay tuned. We're gonna talk about it soon.
I got you. My bad.
Yes. When we come back, we have a post-nut mode story from a guy who got the opportunity of a lifetime. Did he mess it up? We'll tell you soon. It's the MRA Podcast. According to Webster's dictionary, being in post-nut mode is when you have a clear mind and you can make sound decisions as if you just busted a nut.
Yeah, I don't know if Webster actually said that.
No, he didn't. But our listener, Big Easy Q, told us all about it, and we can relate. Women, men. So listen, if you have a story of when you did something foolish.
In pre-nut mode.
Yeah, something really dumb. Maybe it was top crime. Especially something in pre-nut mode you don't want nobody to know about. Hit us up, and we'll tell the world. We can all laugh at your expense, and hopefully you'll learn from your mistakes.
Aristotle once said, the results of pre-nut mode is the best teacher. I think he said some shit like that.
Send us your stories at dearirby@themrapodcast.com. That's dearirby@themrapodcast.com. And now it's time for a post-nut mode story, only on the MRA Podcast. Here we go. It says, I be listening to the stories y'all tell on here, and some of them are pretty good, but wait till you hear mines, with the S, mines. I never thought this would happen to me, but I was working at a high-end fashion chain, and I saw this woman come in who was just my type. She was young, thick, rich, and classy. She's steady staring at me, but the problem was she came in with her man, so I'm trying to sneak looks, and he catches me checking her out. He comes up to the counter, and I recognize him from his billboards. He's a big-time lawyer here in town, so now I'm feeling nervous. But then this dude tells me he saw me looking at his wife. He saw her looking at me, and she likes me. He starts asking if I would like a taste, and I said, no, sir. He said, I'll pay you $1,000, and I said, we talking cash? He said he would pay me $1,000 to have sex with his wife. I cannot believe this. But there was only two catches. He wanted to watch, and I could never have sex with her if he wasn't there. I said, bet. I was thinking he was going to be naked in the corner, but he was fully clothed, watching us, telling me things to do. It was a little distracting at first, but I delivered. He kept bringing me back, and it was great till I started catching feelings for his wife. This feels like a movie, Kamal. One day, she texted me and asked if we could meet up without him. We got a hotel, and I hid it, but she ended up confessing to her husband. He threatened to ruin my life, but nothing happened. I did miss that money, though. He paid me $1,000 in cash each time I hit that thing 7 times. That's $7,000. This was from DeMario in Los Angeles. Kamal, would you take on this job?
Hell nah.
No,
sir. No, sir.
My brother, you got to get your own.
It ain't that serious to me now. $1,000 now. If he presented me, maybe, but just on the strength. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking big picture, man. Now, I don't want to be in part of these people's lives. I don't want to be like the cause of anything. I don't want this man to get jealous, or I don't want a husband knowing that I have been with his wife.
Wow.
So I don't care if he's like, down with it. I got rules, homie. And that's the rule I don't break. And DeMario actually broke a rule, and that's why he's out, man. I mean, he probably could have, you know what I'm saying, had a nice little career.
Just smashing?
Yeah, as a little side swipe. He's making $1,000 a session.
A hit?
Yeah, so I don't know how often the sessions were, but he had a nice little side gig. Man gave him 2 rules. He broke one of them. I remember I broke a rule like that, man. The chick told
what happened,
me,
dog? Break it down to us.
Chick told me, don't tell nobody. I was messing with some chick, who I was messing with my boy. Boy had a girlfriend.
Okay.
I was messing with her older sister, and she didn't want nobody to know.
I think I know this girl.
Yeah, I told my boy.
The look on your face.
I told my boy, like an asshole. He told.
Boy?
She said, "Don't tell nobody." I told my boy, who told his goddamn sister, but no, she ain't gonna say nothing. Okay.
Man.
And one day,
tell you can't. Listen, fellas, if your boy confides in you, you cannot. That's why, dog. Don't tell your wife. Don't tell your lady. I know it's hard for you to come out because you and your wife talk about it a lot. But you know that they don't have the bro code, bro.
Nah.
They don't have it.
Nah.
And it cost you.
I broke the rules.
You broke the rules. You had to pay. We come back. Chelsea Handler broke a rule in my book. She said she had to remind 50 Cent that he was a black person. Oh, we'll explain all that. We come back. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey guys, if you're digging the show, then please tell somebody. People might say something to you like, hey man, you know what podcast you listening to? And that's when you say the MRA Podcast with Kyle and Kamal.
Or the MRA Podcast with Kamal and Kyle.
All right, man. Chelsea Handler went on the Tonight Show and explained why she had to call 50 Cent out. Because remember last week we talked about 50 Cent said he was going to vote for Trump because Trump had a better tax rate than Biden, which he might for millionaires. I mean, he probably does. But still, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Look out for the whole team, man. But anyway, she said his supporting Trump made her feel like she had to remind him he was a black person and thus shouldn't be voting for Trump. Then she said if he's willing to publicly change his mind, she would be open to sealing the deal in more ways than one by letting him take another ride. 50 saw Chelsea's clip and posted it to his page with the caption, "What? Another spin? Fuck Donald Trump. I never liked him. For all I know, he had me set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed. That's history. LOL." Kamal, I'm going to tell you right now, I am offended by this. I cannot stand the arrogance some women have about how dynamite their coochie is. It drives me crazy. Ladies, I know you're listening. And I know you've been told your entire life. You've seen men give up their careers for it. You've seen men fight for it. You've seen men go to jail for it. And you might have just seen a man change his political affiliation for it. And I'm embarrassed about it. And I'm also embarrassed and upset that a white person had to remind a brother that he was black. Y'all don't get to do that. Yeah. Come on, how you feel about it, dude?
Same as you, man. I feel like Chelsea is out of line on this one. Mm-hmm. No matter how she feels about, Donald Trump and this Joe Biden thing, that's just something that I don't think she's allowed to say.
It's family business.
I agree with her.
But wait a minute, Kamal. Joe Biden wants to Trump people. Joe Biden wants to tax people that make over $400,000 a year and make them pay for some of the shit he asked for his ideas. Mm-hmm. 50 Cent makes over $400,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I don't give a fuck if he's racist. The other guy's racist too. They all racist. It's like saying, man, fuck that shit, man. I'm not going to have George Washington's in my pockets or cash in my pockets anymore because these motherfuckers was racist. Yeah, we know. We're Americans. It's very clear to us. So why should 50 Cent give a fuck that one man is racist when it's going to fuck his pocket up?
Well, I'll say this. If 50's a smart man, which I'm sure he is.
Very.
50, whatever that tax rate is, he said like 66 cents for every dollar he makes. Mm-hmm. He ain't paying that shit.
Either does Trump.
Exactly. So it's
why
like,
does it matter?
Right.
Exactly.
So like Trump, they say Trump, man, his first year in office pays $750. Now I'm not saying like 50 has a crooked accountant
or a
like
good
that.
Accountant, whatever you want to call it, crooked, good. Because I'm sure President Trump paying $750. It sounds crazy to us, but to other billionaires, they were like, "Damn, you had to pay $750."
And no matter what, the IRS signed off on that shit.
Yes, they did.
So whatever it was through loopholes and whatever.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly legal. They know what to do. They know how to make their books look right, and they all do that shit.
Right.
So I agree with what you're saying. Don't sell out the whole goddamn group just to save the tax money that you already gonna save because you got a good tax man.
Right. Now, if you're doing your shit yourself, or now what I feel bad for is the motherfuckers only making $400,000. Like they just, but they gonna start lying. I made $399,000. You know, like those are the people I feel bad for. But 10, 30, 40, 50, 100 million billionaires. Like, man, you ain't paying that shit. No way.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't allow your greed. Mm-hmm. Because I know 50 was like...
to sell out those in need.
Well, it's like, man, 50... I think 50 was basically just fucking around.
He was.
But a lot of people...
Anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of people took it seriously, man. He's got a pretty big... He has a pretty big platform.
And if you're dumb enough to vote for Trump because 50 Cent told you to vote for Trump, then you's a stupid-ass motherfucker anyway, man. You need to make your own goddamn choices. Read that shit and don't be fucking stupid.
Well, everybody's not going to do that, Kyle. In a perfect world, yes, because that way... certain people would never win if everyone did their own research. But people don't have the time. They don't have the patience to do their own research. And
Call your mama. That's what I do.
That's what who said that?
Kyle Irby. Every year, Mom, we vote for.
I think Chance the Rapper said that too. He was like, "Man, vote for whoever your mama tell you to vote for."
That's it. That's it. Mama's at home reading every last pamphlet, and I'm gonna get the answers to the test, and I'm going down the line. So whatever my mama votes for, she can consider herself having 2 votes. When we come back, Sweetie says if he cannot buy you a Birkin bag, he's gotta go. And later in the show, Kamal and I are going to talk about the new rules of consent. We're going to have a special guest come on and give us a female perspective. You do not want, this is one of those episodes you do not want to miss. I promise you that. It's an MRA podcast. Hey guys and gals, if you're enjoying the show, let someone know. Whatever app you're listening on, please subscribe, give us 5 stars, and leave a positive comment.
And why wouldn't you give us 5 stars and a positive comment? We're great.
Yes, we are. This helps our placement so that other people can enjoy the show as well.
And why wouldn't they? We're great.
During a Instagram live session with Quavo, Sweetie encouraged women to dump their man if he wasn't paying their bills or buying them an expensive bag. She said, quote, "If he not getting you a Birkin, if he not paying your bills, then throw that nigga back to the streets." Now, I'm guessing she's a rapper because she has a song called Back to the Streets. So it was kind of like a plug to her shit, getting her 50 Cent on, because 50 Cent's social media game is vicious. But I don't know, man. Birkins cost anywhere from $2,000 for the cheap one. That's crazy when the cheap one's $2,000 to $500,000. Quavo from the Migos was standing with her, and when she said it, he shrugged his shoulders. Like, hey, she got a point. Man,
this stuff makes me sick. Sick to my stomach when ladies kick this shit. Now, Sweetie is a pretty fine chick. You know what I'm saying? And she's got a high profile rapper as a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. She can say all that.
Who is she with?
Quavo, right?
Oh God, I didn't realize that. I mean, he was in the video, but I didn't know that he was her man.
Yeah,
makes sense. So they're both in the what is it? The Three Amigos, right?
The Amigos, yeah. Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff.
Okay, good. Thank you. So
I think the Migos just be tricking. It seems.
I mean, looking at hey, let me tell you something, man. Whenever it's a TMZ story, do not read the comments because you're about to see some racism. But if you see something on Vlad or The Source or some kind of black site, Gossip, please read the comments because you're about to see how the people really, really feel. And they go in. And they basically went in on 2 of the Migos and basically said they was some lames that came up on some money, and so they never had any game, and now they tricking. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I mean, like this type of stuff, man. It because here's the thing: is so if I want Sweetie, I just gotta buy her shit.
Yeah, that means yeah, pretty much.
And so, really, does she love me?
But that's not fair. See, I'm not offended. You know who taught me this? Jada Pinkett.
How so?
Jada taught me this because she said basically, man, these women see you. If you're rich, you're gonna meet their needs, and it's just like we see ass, titties, face, hair, blah blah blah. All of that is to meet our needs. It's all about fertility. The hair suggests fertility. The ass suggests fertility. The breast sitting straight up suggests fertility. It is all from our primal need to spread our seed. That is why guys cheat so often, because they have the need primally, scientifically, to spread our seed. Not saying we can't be stopped, but I'm just saying it's a primal need. And women have a primal need to be provided for. Now, some women, they hijack that need and they provide for themselves. But most women, from the most dignified woman you respect to the gutterest bitch you know, would consider a billionaire that was nice to him. Because he's a billionaire.
Right. And my point is, this type of attitude, it doesn't require somebody to be nice to him.
I think it does.
Well, no, if I'm just buying you shit, or you got the credit card.
Both. Come on. How long would you let a woman sit around you just because she was fine and treat you like shit?
Well, no, that's my point. My point is, a guy who's got a dime piece who's treating him like shit is probably going to bounce. A fucking woman who's got a billionaire who treats you like shit ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about like the needs and stuff like that.
Man.
It's like, man, you can't just treat me like shit. After a while, I'm done. You know? But I know a lot of women, because the dude is paid now, if they can figure out a way to, like, you know what I'm saying, get half his dough.
That dough. Oh, yeah, they out the dough.
Hey, man, speaking of which, man, this is a long time ago. It's an old news story, but I just found this out. I'm sorry. Bob Johnson's wife.
Oh, what happened?
Took half of his dough. Remember that when she...
I don't remember, but I know who Bob Johnson is, first black billionaire.
Right, so when he and his wife divorced, they went to court and all that. She got like $1 billion, right? And so she instantly became like the first black woman billionaire because she divorced Bob Johnson. What I did not know is, guess who she married after that?
Oh gosh, who?
The judge.
What judge? Clarence Thomas?
No, the judge in her divorce case.
That is hysterical. Are you fucking serious?
Dude, I found this shit out like last week.
Shut up, dude. Shut up, bro.
Dude, she married the goddamn judge. They said they knew each other for years or whatever, but it was like, the judge was like, he had vested interest, like, to make sure she got everything she needed if he was about to strike, you know, he's going to tap that later on.
Wow. When we come back, there are new rules of consent, and it's up to us to talk about it, fellas. We're going to have a special guest, Bertina Love, that's about to sit in. And later in the show, we have a Dear Irby from a hustler whose lady is starting to listen to the haters and it's affecting his home life. What should he do? Kamal and I will coach him up soon. It's the MRA Podcast. You listen to us, but Kamal and I want you to know that we listen to you too.
Even if we don't always respond to your tweets in a timely manner.
I love how you say we, man. So if you have some feedback, maybe you agree.
Maybe you disagree.
Or maybe you just want to tell us how much you love the show, or that you want to testify about how we specifically helped you out. Or maybe you just want to tell Kamal how he was right or wrong.
But mostly right.
Whatever you want to tell us, hit us on our social. I'm at Kyle Irby.
I'm at Angry Kamal.
Hit us up and you just might hear your comment on the air.
Promise. We'll be gentle.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest returning, our favorite guest, pretty much, kind of, sort of, most likely coming to the mic. She flew in for this. Well, she don't fly. She's one of those COVID scared people. Denisha Vertina Love Harrison Abdul Jabbar. Welcome back, Vertina.
Hey, guys. It's been a while.
It has been a while. So, Vertina, did you watch the Rumor Willis Red Table Talk?
I did.
Okay, so she said some things that was shocking to me. And what I'm trying to learn how to do, Vertina, as I try to improve as a man and a human, is work on being so defensive. Because my knee-jerk reaction is usually not the best thing to say, so I'm trying to work on listening. And I watched that thing after we got this feedback because I was like, what happened? Because I hadn't seen it. All right, so they were talking about the gray area of consent, which I was confused by because I always figured if she says yes or she doesn't say no. Like the job is, this has been the rules when I was growing up. The rule is a guy tries, woman says no. If she says no, it means no. Now, sometimes guys keep trying after her, and which I understand is frustrating. But if she lets you have sex with her, then guys assume that it was a yes. Now, obviously, some of those rules might need some updating, but Rumor was saying, even if she doesn't say no, guys, you should be able to tell that she's not really into it and you should stop. How do you feel about that, Vertina, as a woman?
I understood what she was talking about.
What was she saying?
And I understand this whole gray area. And I think what we as women are starting to understand is that you guys really had no clue. So what she's saying, the way I took it is she's saying that going into it, she probably says like, yeah, I don't want to have sex tonight.
Heard
the
that
guy's
before.
like, okay. But in his mind, he's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
You're going to want to have sex after I do this, and that.
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it to you.
Right. And so as a woman, you're like, no, I'm good. And you're not, because you're from experience. You may be enjoying like the kissing and the making out, but when you've already decided, like, I don't want to have sex for whatever reason, you know, and you've shared that that's what you don't want to have sex, that should be enough. And so what she's saying is like, she may have said no twice, and then she stopped saying no, but her body language is, I'm not into this anymore. So the guy is moving forward, you know, he may be taking his pants down or like pulling her pants down. What if she said
yes? What if she said yes and now she's not into it anymore? It sounded like she was still saying in their circumstances, even if there was never a no, she said yes and then she started to change her mind but never said it. We should be able to pick up that she's not enthusiastic about it anymore. How do you feel about that?
See, I didn't hear her say she ever said yes. She said that she's not saying no.
Okay, well, let's say this. What if she never said no, but her body language is saying no? Do you think the guy should pick up on that? And if he's not, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I do. And let me say this. If he's like kissing on her and she's turning her head, if he's like, you know, trying to go down on her and she's pushing him away, if is...
those aren't mixed signals, by the way. Those are pretty clear signals.
Well, she said that her body's saying no. She said, I'm not verbally saying no, but every action is saying no.
Is that a rape?
And she didn't want to like just feel uncomfortable. And that's what happens a lot of times where the women don't want to feel uncomfortable. Would you say?
Do you think it's a rape if she doesn't say no, but her body language says no?
Do I think it's rape? Well, that's where it's the gray area. And so, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know. And the reason why I'm saying I don't know is because, and I think that's where the confusion with women are, because we don't want to classify like a good guy or a guy who didn't have the intentions to rape as a rapist.
Absolutely. Now, here's my question. Sometimes women want something. Let's just say it's not physical. Let's just say they want to move in or get married. And they know the guy doesn't want to. And they keep talking about it and talk about it. And finally they get him to give in to the marriage. And then they break up and that woman walks off with, I don't know, $20 million. Is that the equivalent?
No. But I see where you're going with this. It is not the equivalent because no one violated the person's body.
Okay.
However, I definitely see this comparison. Although it is, you have to be more active when you give into a marriage, when you give into a living with someone. You have to. You can't just be like, you know, one day the girl just shows up with her clothes and everything. You don't open the door.
They don't always open the door to the sex. They just allow it. They don't want to do it. They just allow it. And a lot of guys are in the same boat when they don't really want to move in. They just allow it.
Yeah, but they have to actively help them move in.
No, they don't.
If you are going to have sex with my body and I'm not saying no anymore, I don't have to actively do anything.
Yeah, and he could just actively allow you to move your shit in.
Well, I mean, really.
I've seen that before.
I've seen it too. I'm looking at it. All right, Bertina, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Kamal, here's my thing, man. I have changed, and I'm only speaking so I can get the male's point of view, but I have absolutely changed, and here's why, man. I remember back in college, I'll never forget this story, man, because I used to regret this. I was at a buddy's house, and I was hooking up with the girl in the bathroom. It was consensual. She was down, but for some reason, the bathroom wasn't working for us, whatever. So we went into a bedroom, and I knew one of my boys was in there. And when we walked in, I always felt bad about this, but when we walked in, I was figured, because this has happened to me before, I'm like, we'll be on the floor, you be on the bed, do your thing, and ain't nobody tripping. but the girl kind of low-key escaped when we walked in. It was like that was her moment of like, kind of like in the Trump interview when Trump was under fire and, you know, and the producer said something. And he just felt, okay, this is my moment. I'm getting out of this interview on 60 Minutes. She left. And for years, I was like, man, I cock-blocked this dude, man. He was about to close his deal because afterwards he was mad at me and said, man, I almost had it.
Oh, his girl left.
His girl left, not mine. Mine, I closed. But his girl left. Like, my girl was cool. She was down to move room. She was down. His girl left. And for years, I used to feel horrible that I blocked him. And then when all this Me Too shit started happening, I started realizing, I could feel better about that because that girl didn't want to have sex with my dude. He was just working on her. He wasn't raping her. She wasn't saying no, but he was working on her. And she was about to finally give in. He was about to close the deal. Now, I didn't have to close the deal with my girl. She wanted it. And so the message I have for the dudes is, you can tell when she wants to do it. We've all been trained to get that ass and move on. We have to have a new set of training that says, and if she wants to play hard to get, I've had this before where the girl's like, well, I'm not sure. Okay, well, I'm not sure. Fuck that punt. Punt team, get ready. Say no. You say no. If she's not enthusiastically down to fuck, thrusting her hips forward, she wants it. You know when she wants it. That should be our new standard, fellas. Do I agree with this gray area of rape shit? And absolutely not. I don't agree with it. Fuck that shit. You got to say no. You can't. He should have guessed. No guesses. Fuck that. Ladies, be clear. But fellas, no more. I'm not sure she wanted it. No, motherfucker. Her ass, if she ain't enthusiastic about it, pass.
Yeah, I agree. I think that basically, like, I've been in a situation where I could tell. I just saw the face.
Yeah. Stop being pushy.
Right.
Ladies, if you can manage to stop being pushy, that would be great. If you can manage to stop pushing for your needs, that'd be great. Once he says he doesn't want to, talk on the phone, Patrice O'Neal joke, have you move in, get married, stop pushing for your needs. Well, it's different. We all have needs. And if you're saying you don't want us to be single-minded with our needs, then you should back off yours too and only do things that you both want to do. We come back, we got some sports talk. Antonio Brown's going to Tampa Bay. What's up with Cam Newton? Ooh, he's looking bad. Later in the show, we have a Dear Irby letter from a hustler whose lady is starting to listen to the haters and it's affecting his home life. Don't we all hate that, fellas? What should we do? Kamal and I will coach him up soon. It's the MRA Podcast. Guys, I have a comedy album. It's called Be a Man at All Times, and it's on, what's it on? Oh, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you stream your content.
It's a damn good comedy album.
I appreciate that, man. There's stand-up on there. Kamal and I wrote a whodunit mystery called The Case of the Missing Balls. That's on there.
Based on a true story.
Check out the album. Show your boy some support. And you can buy it on iTunes. Keyword buy it. Stop streaming. Kamal, Antonio Brown signs with Tampa. Speaking of Antonio Brown, he has a potential rape charge. And since we're talking about rape, it's such a touchy subject, I want to say right now, clearly, fellas, no means no. She shouldn't have to say it more than once. Is that clear? Is that clear, Kamal?
That's pretty clear to me.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to say it more than once. Now, when we were younger in the 90s, it was like, man, try to get that ass. It's your job to try to get it. You can't rape her, but, convince her. But those days are over, man. She's going to have to be a big girl if she wants this and make her do her job. Make her participate in it. Because, man, if you're having sex with a woman while she's just laying there, bro, that's rapey to me. Go ahead, dog.
Buy the Birkin.
Buy the Birkin and see if that helps with the lubrication.
See before if that changes her attitude.
Listen, man, before the season started, Bruce Arians said Antonio Brown would not be playing in Tampa. Well, guess what? Antonio Brown's about to be playing in Tampa. Looks like Tom Brady got his way. How you feel about Antonio Brown playing in Tampa, Kamal?
I don't like it.
Why?
Because Tom Brady got his way.
Hilarious.
I don't like it, man. I'm a Jameis Winston fan. And so I'm a big time.
Speaking of rapists, we got Antonio Brown, Jameis Winston. I'm sorry to be laughing at that. Rape is no laughing matter. But the irony, I was laughing at the irony of two guys accused of rape. They're not rapists because they're legally not rapists, but accused of rapists. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. And so the fact of the matter is they bring in Tom Brady and they're winning games. And Jameis never had a consistent winning record. But the defense wasn't as good as it is now.
Got
they have a
Jameis played there before Tom. I got it. I forgot about that.
Right.
Go ahead.
And so the running game isn't what it is and stuff like that. And so they're getting Brady all these weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like weapons,
weapons they could have got for my man Famous Jameis.
Right. He had some receiver weapons, but the running game,
defense, exactly.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And so I don't like it. And then the fact of the matter is, I have Mike Evans on my fantasy football team.
Hilarious.
And bringing in Antonio Brown's gonna cut into his
mess up your
targets.
numbers. Now, you're no Tom Brady fan. I have been adamant against Tom Brady even back when we did the episode about how the kickers are like fathers and Father's Day, and I was a kicker, so I like to show love to the kickers. And Tom Brady takes the credit, and a lot of times when he won the Super Bowl, it was really the kicker that really helped him win the Super Bowl, at least put him over the top. And that's not an easy job to do. Now, in the divorce, I took Belichick's side, just like in Shaq and Kobe debate, another accused rapist, Kobe Bryant. I took the Kobe side. So, what is Tom Brady winning in this Belichick divorce right now? Looks like he is, Kamal.
So far. So far, but the thing about it is Tampa Bay had a ready-made team. He walked into a situation. It's almost like when Shaq and Kobe broke up. Shaq went to Miami. A ready and winning team.
Yes,
Kobe's team, the Lakers, they all just fell apart. Malone left. Peyton left. Shaq left. Yeah, they pretty much the entire starters. And then he was playing with fringe NBA players, Brian Cook, Smush Parker, Slava Medvedev. These guys who didn't belong in the league. You look at New England's team, especially the receiving core, because Tom didn't have a receiving core either.
He didn't.
Yeah, and so he did pretty good with these guys.
But listen, man, if Cam Newton was balling like Cam Newton could ball, what the hell's up with Cam Newton, man? He looks horrible. What's the deal, dog?
The man had a bout of COVID, man. He had a bout of COVID, and he missed a week. So I don't know if physically he's still recuperating, but definitely timing. And the guy didn't have a off season with these guys. He didn't have the OTAs.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, and so
you miss practice for any reason for a week, you're gonna be off. So imagine if you miss it for having COVID. I'll give you on that.
Yeah, man. So I don't think the door is closed, or I don't think the stories written for Cam Newton in New England. I think that basically he's stinking it up right now. Belichick said no question that he's still a starter.
Good.
So, let the man get healthy, let the man get his sea legs back in, and, 2 or 3 weeks from now, if he's still stinking it up, people will have a point. But I say get a man some time.
I'll give you that, man. We come back, man. We have a Dear Irby letter from a hustler whose lady is starting to listen to the haters, and it's affecting his home life. What should he do? Kamal and I will coach him up next. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey guys, what's up? If you're enjoying this show, do us a favor and donate to our Patreon.
Word.
Just go to www.patreon.com. That's Patreon.com and make a donation to the MRA Podcast with Kyle and Kamal.
Word.
It's that simple. Listen to the show, love the show, share the show, break the show off with some dough.
Bars.
Let's get into this Dear Irby letter.
Let us.
Dear Irby, I've been a hustler my entire life, and it's paid off well for me. I know what I do isn't all the way legal, but I'm fine with the necessary evils that have given me and mine this comfortable lifestyle. I was married in the past, but that didn't work. She broke my heart, and she got me for a lot of my bread, so I said, never again. Besides, I love the ladies too much to settle with one. I hear you, bro. I have this one girl who I love, and we've been kicking it strong for a while. She knows what I do, she knows how I live, and she's still down for me. I like it. She's always been my ride or die, but recently she's been acting funny. She's been wanting me to meet her family for a minute, and I finally gave in and met her sister. The meeting was a disaster because she was asking me all kind of questions about what I do. Why haven't I married her sister? I was very uncomfortable for all of us, so I ended up leaving, and the next day, instead of having my back, my girl said I was rude to her sister. And now she keeps telling me little things her sister says, and I can't understand why she has to bring up this nonsense to me. It's starting to make me look at her funny. What do y'all think is going on, and what should I do? Stan in Tampa, speaking of Tampa. Kamal, what should he do? What's up?
Stan, you got to nip this in the bud. Right?
How?
So you're not going to be able to come between her and her sister. So you're not going to be able to have her cut her sister off. And if you there for the long haul, you're not going to leave her, which I don't think you should over this right now. You got to nip this in the bud, man. Basically, her sister needs to stay out of her relationship. Your girl needs to stop sharing information. And if she can't do that, which she probably won't, because like my girl and my ex-girl and all of that, their sister's like their best friend. They speak daily. So you're not going to stop that. So don't even try. Right? And so if she's going to keep just talking about y'all to her, to her sister, you just don't want to hear the responses. You know what I'm saying? You can't control what she says to her sister, but you can control what she says to you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what your people think about me. Now, her sister is either two things. Either she's jealous of her sister and secretly she wants you and she's trying to ruin it, not so she can get with you, just so her sister won't be happy, right? Or you ain't good enough. She's got, well, she thinks her sister is like queen shit and she's got on this pedestal and you just don't measure up. Those are the only two reasons why her being in your shit. Either she's trying to end her sister's happiness, or she thinks that you can never make her sister happy. Right?
That's what she thinks.
Right. And so those are the only two, reasons for her behavior. You need to sit your girl down and tell her, I'm with you. I'm not with your family. I am not with them. I made a commitment, or I don't make a commitment, but, I love and respect you. This is the team. They are the team's family. They're not part of our inner circle. And so, man, you're a hustler. So one thing I know about hustlers is they got the gift of gab. You should be able to kick so much shit that she's convinced that anything coming from her sister is all hatred and just there to ruin you guys' relationship. You are part of her team. You two. Nobody else. And you gotta, I don't know if you convince her to keep people out of your relationship. Maybe that ship has sailed already. But man, you can damn sure try your best, man. Because if not, this shit's gonna continue. Because I used to have an ex. Every time we got into an argument, she would tell me something that somebody, my sister says about you, my friend says, everybody, and it would piss me off because when we were good and we would see these people in public, I still remember the shit my girl told me about your ass. Why are you smiling in my face?
Exactly.
So that's my that's my advice, man. Nip this shit in the bud as soon as you can.
When we come back, I'm going to weigh in. Yo, what's up? I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kamal.
And you're listening to the MRA podcast where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. Kamal, that was excellent as usual.
Thank you.
Luckily, this is the MRA podcast with Kyle and Kamal and Kyle, because I have a different perspective. That's why the listeners are so lucky, Kamal, to get to hear different perspective. Stan, if that's your real name, you are in trouble. I dare say your relationship is over. It's over, dog. Let me tell you why. When your girl tells you what her friends say about you, she's only telling you the stuff she's agreeing with, or she wouldn't bring it to you. If she was sure that you're not that, she wouldn't even bring it to you. She's too cowardly to just flat out say, I think you shop too much, which is a made up thing, because that's usually not a guy thing. Maybe it is. So she says, my sister was looking at your shoe closet, Kamal, and she thinks you shop a little too much. She's just telling you because she feels that way too. I'm telling you, that's what it is. She's been wanting me to meet her family for a minute, and I finally agreed and gave in. Why have you not wanted to meet her family? I'm guessing, because Kamal and I are very similar, you don't want a relationship with her family because you know that that's just going to complicate shit. What if they don't like me? What if they do like me?
What if I don't like them?
What if I don't like them? That all complicates the relationship. If they love you, great. But what about when it's time to break up? Now you got to break up with them. Ouch. If they hate you, well, damn, now I got to deal with them as an obstacle. What if I don't like them? Now I'm expected to go around them.
And what if I'm beefing with her? Am I beefing with them too?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
It depends on the family.
Mm-hmm.
So he just wanted to be with his girl. Ladies, you always complicate shit. We're having a good time. We're having consensual sex. We're going out. We got to say that these days. We're going out. We're partying. We're happy. And what happens? You start getting paranoid, wondering, am I just sex? What are we? That's the first level of you fucking it up. I need to know what we are. Why? We're getting along. You're happy. I'm happy. What the hell? That lasts for a while. Then you start telling me about all your friends that are getting married. Why? Because you want me to propose to you. Why? We're already together. But women get pressure to be married. So you bringing that to me because you can't just tell me. This is about something about women speaking up today, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Got to speak up, ladies. Got to. But you don't want to speak up, so you speak up. So you'd say what your sister's saying. Here's the problem, my dude, Stan. Every woman, every man knows who they can talk to and who they can't talk to. I know what I could talk to Kamal about. I don't know what I can't talk to him about, but I'm sure if I thought about it, I would know. You only bring people certain shit. When you want a pizza, you go to Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's. When you want a burger, you go to McDonald's. You go to Burger King. You go to Shake Shack. I love Shake Shack. You like Shake Shack, Kamal?
I do.
Oh, tastes like my grandma's burgers. I finally realized that. If my sister's listening, taste Shake Shack and tell me, do they remind you of Grandma's Burgers? I don't want to say Grandma's affectionate name because y'all don't know us like that. I'm just going to say Grandma's Burgers and Watts. The reason why your girl started telling her business to her sister is because she is starting to lose faith in it. And she's ready to hear from a hater. She's ready to be talked out of this relationship. She wouldn't have even told her because she knows how she's going to react. Nobody gets surprised. Nobody's surprised. You know, guys, if you're cheating on your wife, you got a friend you could tell. You got a friend you better not tell. We all know we know the sympathetic ear. You know what I'm saying, Kamal?
Mm-hmm.
President Trump went on 60 Minutes. He knew he was about to get the business, and he did. Then he goes on Fox News. He's about to get a sympathetic ear. Your girl started going to her sister and telling the business because she's starting to not feel secure. She's getting tired of it. Maybe she's tired of you hustling. Maybe she's tired of you not committing. And Stan, you're in trouble, dog. I think your joint is about to be over, man. So talk to your lady. Try to have a real grown-up conversation. How she really feels. Once again, check back in. Check back in with your lady. Fellas, the theme of the day is them communicating and us checking back in because we can't force them to communicate. We can only control us. So Stan, get an update from your lady. And then you can reassess if you want to go forward from there. But I'm telling you right now, the funnest part of your relationship is in the past. Now y'all about to be family if she's the one. Or, top three. I don't believe in the 1-1-1, but I believe in you're now permanent. You're no longer jump off. You're no longer girlfriend. You're no longer poo thang. You're permanent. Is she going to become permanent? Is she going to become a Hall of Famer? Is her jersey going in the Raptors? If so, you've had your funnest times. And that's okay. You guys are going to move to a different phase of love. But you need to have this conversation, man. You need to check back in. You need some advice in your relationship
and can't afford a therapist?
Yeah. Hit us up and we'll get you through this.
We won't even charge you a copay.
Exactly. The Dear Irby letter is our longest standing segment on the MRA, dating all the way back to the webisodes. This is where we truly save relationships one listener at a time. We've saved marriages.
Encouraged divorce.
Taught a guy how to please his woman.
Encouraged divorce.
Yeah, so hit us up for advice and we'll help you out. Send your emails to dearirby@themrapodcast.com. That is dearirby@themrapodcast.com. Where can we find you?
Twitter and Instagram @AngryKamal.
I'm at Kyle Lerby, KYLEERBY is my Twitter, it's my Instagram, it's also my Facebook. The MRA Podcast is all our social medias, the MRA Podcast. KyleLerby.com is my website. You can see some of my comedy videos, some commercials I've done, all that kind of stuff, man. The MRApodcast.com is where you can listen to all 117 episodes we have come out. You do your research and you bring it every single week. So I appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate you having me.
I want to thank your wife, Denisha Vertina Love Harrison Abdul-Jabbar. Thank you for her insight. Thank you for her different perspective. Thank you for bringing it every time she is our guest, and she is our favorite guest. Hit her on Instagram at IMVLO, and she is on Twitter at Vertina Love. Ladies, we love you. Fellas, be a man at all times.
Deuces.
MRA.